What if I told you that debt, something most of us fear and avoid, is actually the hidden force driving the entire global economy? From the homes we live in, to the cars we drive, and even the functioning of governments, debt is everywhere. But hey, race the shocking part. Without it, the economy as we know it could collapse. This video will show you why debt isn't just a problem to solve. It's the engine that keeps the world spinning. We'll dive deep into how banks, corporations, and governments have turned debt into the most powerful and profitable tool ever invented. By the time you're done watching, you won't just understand how debt works. You'll see why it controls everything from personal finances to global empires. If you've ever wondered why it feels so hard to get ahead financially, or why debt seems impossible to escape, this is the video for you. So, let me ask you, do you feel like debt is holding you back? Have you ever questioned why borrowing money seems to power everything but your own life? Stay with me, because this isn't just about understanding debt. It's about reclaiming control in a world where debt is king. When we think of the economy, we usually imagine production, consumption, and investment. But what truly drives this machine is something far less visible: debt. Every loan taken out, every bond issued, every credit card swipe creates new money. That's right. In the modern financial system, money and debt are practically the same thing. When a bank grants a loan, it doesn't pull that money out of a vault full of cash. It simply creates it by typing numbers on a screen. That money then enters the economy and starts circulating, generating jobs, consumption, and growth. But hey, race the uncomfortable truth. Along with that money comes the obligation to pay interest. This constant need to pay back more than what was created forces governments, companies, and individuals to keep taking out new loans. Without new debt, the system stagnates. It's like a bicycle that only stays upright while it's moving. So, what we were taught to fear, debt, is, paradoxically, what keeps everything running. The global economy is a castle held up by promises of repayment. And the curious part? Everyone knows it, yet pretends not to see. If debt is the fuel of the economy, someone must be profiting from running the gas station. And in this case, those selling the fuel are banks and large financial institutions. They don't just lend money, they sell time. Every loan is the early purchase of something you can't afford yet. And in that process, the bank earns money without producing anything tangible. It profits from your urgency, your fear, and your desire to live better now. But the mechanism goes even deeper. Governments borrow by issuing public bonds, which banks and investment funds buy. These bonds pay interest that, guess what, comes from taxes. In other words, citizens pay twice, once as borrowers and again as taxpayers. Meanwhile, major corporations use debt strategically. They take out cheap loans to buy back their own shares or invest in assets that appreciate faster than the interest they pay. The result? The rich get richer, and the system keeps turning, powered by everyone else's debt. Debt, therefore, is less a neutral tool and more a weapon of power. Those who understand the rules of the game don't fear debt. They control those who owe. But what happens when this house of cards starts to shake? Recent history offers plenty of warnings. Crises like 2008 showed that when confidence in debt evaporates, the entire system can collapse. Today, global debt exceeds $300 trillion, a number so large it defies imagination. The obvious question is, who's going to pay that bill? The uncomfortable answer, probably no one. Most debts will never be fully repaid, only rolled over, pushed further into the future. This model creates an economy addicted to borrowing. To maintain growth, we need to create more debt. But the more we create, the more fragile everything becomes. It's like inflating a balloon, harmless at first, until it bursts. The danger lies in the fact that the global financial system is interconnected. A single failure, a default in one country, can trigger a chain reaction. And when confidence breaks down, money, which is nothing more than a promise, simply disappears. Debt, once the engine of prosperity, becomes a trap. The same mechanism that creates wealth can, in an instant, cause collapse. Talking about global debt might sound distant, but its effects are felt in every bill you pay. High interest rates, inflation, instability, they all come from the same source: the cost of maintaining a system built on infinite credit. When the government borrows, it injects money into the economy, boosting consumption, but often driving prices higher. When central banks raise interest rates to fight inflation, the first to feel the pain are everyday citizens, who pay more for their own loans. But there's another side to this coin. Understanding how debt works can give you an advantage. Learning to tell the difference between good debt, that which generates returns, and bad debt, that which only drains income, is the first step toward escaping the cycle. Instead of seeing debt as an enemy, it's time to see it as a tool. The difference between those who drown and those who thrive lies not in avoiding credit, but in using it wisely. In the end, debt is a mirror of our society itself, built on promises, desires, and consumption in advance. It's the mechanism that accelerates progress, and the same one that threatens to implode when it spins out of control. Understanding this is more than an economic curiosity. It's an act of financial awareness. When you grasp how debt drives the world, you realize you are not just a spectator. You're part of the mechanism. So next time you hear someone say debt is bad, remember, the problem isn't owing. The problem is not knowing why you owe, to whom, and at what cost. If this video changed how you see the economy, leave a like, share it with someone who needs to understand this, and subscribe to the channel. Because in the coming weeks, we'll reveal practical strategies to use the system, instead of being used by it.